A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. What is the first one? PG medical admissions, domicile based quota impermissible Supreme Court. There are two words here, domicile, one word, and impermissible. Domicile goes with place of residence, one of the meanings. Wherever you reside, then we use the word, and permissible, allowable, impermissible, not acceptable, not allowed. And it talks about admissions related to PG medical admissions and Supreme Court's order. The next one, manual scavenging. Supreme Court orders complete stop in 6 metros. There is one important word here, scavenging. Scavenger, for a person we use the word scavenger. And the animal world, if you take some birds, some animals act as scavengers. What does it mean? Those animals that depend on dead bodies or corpses. Corpse means a dead body. We use the word scavenger. For example, vulture is a scavenger. Hyena is a scavenger. There are so many scavengers in nature. But coming to humans, what does it mean? There are some people in the past, before the advent of Western people, before the advent of English people, we did not have Western toilets. That time there was a profession. Today also it is there, though the government has banned. Some people would come in the morning or in the evening with a bucket and a broomstick. They would clean human excretion. That profession is called scavenging, traditional meaning, and the person is called scavenger. Human excretion, there is one euphemism you have to know. Human excretion, it sounds a little odd and does not sound good. For that, what do we say? Euphemism, night soil, very good. Who is this? Ashmita, wonderful. And also Jayalakshmi and Murthy, wonderful, I appreciate. Night soil means human excretion, and Supreme Court orders complete stop in 6 metros. Manual scavenging. Manual, you do some work using your hands. We use the word manual, manual workers. And based on this, you have to recollect the word manuscript. When you want to publish a book, first you write. That handwritten thing is called manuscript. Then it goes for publishing. And manual. There's another word you have to recollect, menial jobs. Low-level jobs we use menial, not intellectual caliber, but physical effort. And based on this, we have words like white-collar workers, blue-collar workers. Intellectually caliber, someone has intellectual caliber, uses brain, we say white collar worker, but manual low level jobs we use blue collar workers, technical people you can say. All that you have to recollect, and this goes with modern scavenging. If you take cities, we have the manholes, you can see a manhole, and people cleaning up sewage, all these things, scavenging, and very dangerous because of toxic gases. Supreme Court has ordered complete stop in 6 metros. Based on this, metropolitan city, major city of a region, cosmopolitan city, a city where people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world live together. There's another word you guys have to know, megalopolis. Megalopolis means a huge city. It is like 2 or 3 Hyderabad's at one place. We use the word megalopolis. All the words you have to recollect. And deliberations over, parliamentary panel adopts Waqf bill draft. Here we have deliberations and adopts draft. 3 words. So it talks about parliamentary panel adopting something. And after deliberations over. The word deliberation, noun form, deliberate, a verb form. It has 2 different meanings. As a verb, he has done it deliberately, adverb. What does it mean? Doing something intentionally, openly. Deliberate attempt to do something. But deliberations, noun form, has a different meaning. Deep discussions, we use the word deliberations. Here you can see a lot of people discussing very seriously. Then we use the word deliberations. Over parliamentary panel adopts. We all know adopt, adapt. Adopt a child, adopt a policy, adapt to get used to. Some draft, work bill draft. Missing note. When we talk about music, we use high note, low note. Note here goes with music. The copyright conundrum, an important word in Carnatic music. What constitutes music remains unanswered. That is a bit strange. What comes under music remains unanswered. So there is no clear definition to call something music, to say something is not music. But there's one, it talks about missing note means something is missing. What is missing here? The copyright issue is a problem. The copyright conundrum means a difficult problem or a problem that is very difficult to solve. An important word. SSC banks, they have given this word many a time. Conundrum means a complicated problem in Carnatic music. What constitutes music remains unanswered. When you see the word copyright, you have to think of intellectual property rights, IPR. You have to think of copyright. You have to think of piracy. All these are related words, exactly. Murli, very good. And special day, Smith joins the elite 10,000 run club. Elite, a cream of a society, we use that word. Here, cream among the players, cricket players, he joins that club. What is the main headline? Very unfortunate incident. 30 dead, 60 injured in stampede at Mahakumbh. We have got the word stampede many a time. Imagine there is a hall, capacity 500, but they accommodated about 600, only one entry, one exit. Something went wrong inside, then all the people, because of panic, they try to leave that hall, rush out through the same exit. In that process, what happens? They jostle and some people may fall, others may step over them or walk over them, and these people, some people may die because of suffocation. The whole thing is called stampede, and this happened in Mahakumbh. What is the impact of that stampede? 30 dead and 60 injured in stampede at Mahakumbh. Pilgrims waiting for a dip at the Sangam trampled to death. Trample usually goes with elephants. The elephant trampled someone, means what? To step and make that person die. Trampled to death as a barricade collapses at Akhara Marg. Barricade, something that has been kept to separate barricades. Police barricades, we say. That barricade collapsed, all of them must have rushed. In that process, stampede. Very unfortunate incident. We can see the pic, people being carried. Disaster zone. Rescue personnel carry an injured devotee following the stampede which broke out on Mauni Amavasya during the ongoing Mahakumbh as Sangam in Prayagraj on Wednesday. Breakout is an important phrasal verb. Breakout means to start suddenly. And what are the combinations? It goes with fire, war, clashes, fights, here stampede also, and diseases. Breakout, past form, broke out. Important phrasal verb. We have a few snippets over here. Modi slams up over Yamuna poisoning claims. Slam has two different meanings, I've given many a time. It goes with fire, fire broke out. Yes, Madhavi. Clashes, very good, I appreciate. Slam has two meanings. One meaning to criticize someone seriously, severely. Another meaning to close doors with a lot of force. Don't slam the doors. That is another meaning. Goes with everyday English. Egypt, Jordan reject Trump's plan for Gazans. Trump has come up with a plan for Gazans, but that particular plan has been rejected by Egypt and Jordan. Russia holds talks with Syria in bid to retain bases. Here in bid means in an attempt to retain the bases. Bases singular, bases plural. Russia holds talks. Russia has talks with, and you can also say hold talks, an important expression. Here we have a colorful pic, until next year. A lot of students ask me, so what is the difference between till, until? Both mean the same. 17th century, it started with the word until, initially until. Slowly it got transformed to till, T-I-L-L. Both are negative words, and you have to recollect the word unless. Unless, until, till, all negative words. And there is no difference between until and till. Traditional 17th century until, modern English till. Both could be used, no problem as such. But for the spelling. Meaning wise, no difference. Until next year. You see a colorful pic, military bands during beating retreat. There is a program, fag end of the Republic Day celebrations. With this, it comes to an end. Beating retreat. A retreat means to go back. Beating retreat. Marking the end of Republic Day celebrations in New Delhi on Wednesday. ISRO's 100th launch lifts NAV-IC satellite into orbit. Simple words about accomplishment of ISRO. M23 rebels seize means to take control using force. Most of Goma in mineral-rich eastern Congo as Rwanda leader calls for truce. We have a phrasal verb and we have a word. And we have got many a time. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb call for? Call for means demand. Demanded what? Peace, truce. Peace, you can also use the word truce. That's all from today's the Hindu front page. Let us go to the editorial page. Today's editorial, not the regular PDF, but I'll be doing based on the paper. Should not be a problem for you people. Same enrichment happens, but for the format. True speech, very good. Who is this? Vishnu. Wonderful. So today's editorial is all about the tragic incident, stampede at Mahakumbh. Whenever you come across incidents that involve a lot of deaths, could be a road accident, could be a ship wreckage, could be plane crash, could be a stampede. Familiar words you come across and should not be a problem to comprehend. One reading you should be able to, but for one or two words here and there. How does it start? Deaths after the surge. Surge has two different meanings. One meaning increase, sudden increase. Very good. Who is that? Chanda. Surge they use this word at the time of COVID. Surge in the number of cases means what? Sudden increase in the number of cases. But many of you may not know, surge has another meaning, different meaning altogether. Surge also means sudden forward movement. A group of people, usually it goes with waves, sudden forward movement of waves, high tide, we use the word surge. But a group of people all of a sudden move forward, we use the word surge. So based on that, the heading says, deaths after the surge. Means a lot of people must have moved forward all of a sudden. That resulted in the collapse of the barricades and in turn resulted in the stampede, led to the death of so many people. The Kumbh stampede could have been avoided with better measures. There is one important expression here. Yes, leaps and bounds. Who is this? Ramesh Naidu. Leaps and bounds means very fast. Usually it goes with development, growth, cities. Hyderabad is growing by leaps and bounds. Means what? Very fast. But the development is lopsided. Lopsided means uneven. Here, the Kumbh stampede could have been avoided. Answer my question. Could have been avoided, is it active voice or passive voice? First question. At least once, not past perfect. No. It is passive voice. Good. I appreciate. Who is Jagdish, Maleshwari, and other students. So many students. I really appreciate. Here, first you have to know the function of, when you take models, I usually teach about 20 of them under 3 headings: Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. And we have one word models and we have patterns also. This goes with the patterns. Might have done, may have done, could have done, should have done. These patterns are very important. They have specific functions. Based on that, in different competitive exams, they have been asking questions. And coming to this one, what does it convey? What is the function of the expression or the pattern could have plus verb past participle form? It is used to express a past possibility. What does it mean? There was a possibility for something to happen in the past, but it did not happen. Then we use this. For example, as usual, you started at 9 o'clock, and for 10 o'clock session, it takes only half an hour, 9 to 9:30, you reach the institute. So today also you started at 9. There was a possibility for you to reach in time. In time means before time. But on the way something went wrong, you got held up in the traffic and you reached at 10 o'clock. Imagine I ask a question, usually you come by 9:30, how come today you have come at 10 o'clock and how come you are late? Then you may say, you have to say, so I could have come in time. I got held up in the traffic. I could have come in time means what? There was a possibility but did not happen. So here it is in passive voice. Could have been avoided means what? There was a possibility for this tragedy to be avoided, but they did not avoid. And avoid how? With better measures. There was a possibility to avoid with better measures, but did not happen. And any disaster, man-made or natural, pertinent questions, you have to take the fishbone approach. What is the fishbone approach? You ask questions like what happened, when it happened, where it happened, how it happened, who is responsible, and why it happened, the reasons behind. This editorial also touches the same pertinent questions. The stampede at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, the third such incident in recent months, confirms India's dubious distinction. Very important expression. Dubious means what? Doubtful. Dubious distinction, doubtful distinction of having the most number of deaths during religious gatherings. It goes with whenever something is negative, we use the expression dubious distinction. The stampede at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, the third such incident in recent months. Very, very unfortunate. Not the first one, not the second one, the third one in the recent months confirms something. What does it confirm? India's dubious distinction of having the most number of deaths during religious gatherings. India is known for spirituality, and religious gatherings are common sight. Whenever there is a religious gathering, not inevitable, but in a way possibility for something like this, and no wonder it has a dubious distinction of maximum number of deaths during religious gatherings. While the day's developments have not yielded conclusive reasons for the stampede that happened in the early hours of January 29th, initial investigations suggest an uncontrolled surge of devotees at the bathing ghats. While the day's developments have not yielded conclusive reasons, no specific reasons, the press or the media haven't got the specific reasons for the incident. No, as the day developed, while the day's developments have not yielded conclusive reasons for the stampede that happened, when did it happen? In the early hours of January 29th. They might not have got the reasons, but initial investigation throws some light. Based on that, initial investigation suggests an uncontrolled surge. Uncontrolled surge means what? Uncontrolled forward movement of the devotees at the bathing ghats. That is the reason. And what is the response of the UP government? The Uttar Pradesh government had estimated that Answer my question, had estimated. Which tense is that? Investigation means a probe. Had estimated means a past perfect tense. Had estimated that 100 million people would have their holy dips on Mauni Amavasya, an auspicious occasion which fell on January 29th. What was the estimation of the UP government? They expected about how many pilgrims or how many devotees? 100 million. That's a huge number. 100 million people would have, here they would have something, talks about future, but estimated based on that would have. Holy dips. Holy dip. People go to Kashi, they visit the river, the Ganges, and there they want to have a holy dip. That's an important expression. In January, if you mention the month, on January 29th, if you mention the date. On Mauni Amavasya, an auspicious occasion which fell on January 29th. 29th is there. Who is that Krishna in January? Krishna. I hope you got the answer. Imagine you mention the month, then you have to use a preposition in the month of Jan, in the month of November. But you mention the date, then you have to use a preposition on January 20th, on January 29th. According to government estimates, more than a third of those who were expected had performed the ritual early. They had their own estimations according to government estimates. There's one important expression that goes with common errors. We can say according to the government, according to so-and-so person, according to something. But based on that, because we try to generalize, a lot of people say, according to me. That is a common error. You should never say according to me. For that you have to say in my opinion. In my opinion is correct, but never say according to me. That's a common error they have given in many exams. According to government estimates, more than a third of those who were expected had performed the ritual early. 36 million people by 10 a.m. These numbers are mind-blowing numbers. 36 million people had that holy dip by 10 a.m. despite temporary closures of the roads leading to Prayagraj after the stampede. After the stampede, they closed the roads towards Prayagraj. In spite of that, how many million? 36 million people had the holy dip by 10 a.m. In spite of the fact that the roads leading to Prayagraj were closed after the stampede. This measure of regulating traffic into the city could have been proactively implemented. There's one important word. Again, we have the expression could have been. There was a possibility to do that, but they did not do that. Then we use could have been implemented proactively. All youngsters, I tell youngsters, you have to be proactive. Proactive means what? Taking the initiative. Before someone tells you to do something, you do that. Then we use the word proactive. Could have been proactively implemented. They did not do that. Ensuring a steady and manageable stream of devotees, as the government was well aware of a surge in numbers. Here, surge in numbers means increase in numbers, not sudden forward movement. Here, different meaning. Surge in numbers means increase in numbers. The government was well aware, and important. I am well aware of the consequences. The government is well aware of the consequences. Important expression you have to remember. In spite of that, they have not done it. They haven't done it proactively. The focus, unsurprisingly, they did not do it proactively. But then what did they do? Where was the focus? Next sentence talks about that. The focus, unsurprisingly, not surprisingly, is again on the lack of crowd management, and also the prioritization of VIP visitors over the common man. See, whenever we conduct a major event, any major event bound to have accusations, face accusations, allegations, and bound to become controversial. Certain things positive, certain things negative. What are the negative things over here? The focus is again on the lack of crowd management, one thing, and the prioritization of VIP visitors over the common man, the second thing. It talks about that. What has been even more alarming was the state government's delay in formally announcing the fatalities and those injured, 30 dead and over 60 injured, deviating from established protocols of transparency during disasters. What is alarming, what is disturbing, standard expressions. Usually whenever there is a natural disaster, there is a protocol, it seems. What is the protocol? The government has to announce the number of deaths and the number of those who got injured. They should not delay. Fatalities means the deaths. But surprisingly here, the government did not do it. Based on that, what has been even more alarming was the state government's delay in formally announcing the fatalities, means the deaths and those injured. What are the numbers? 30 dead and over 60 injured, deviating from established protocols of transparency during disasters. What are the established protocols? Protocol means official procedure. They deviated from that established official procedure or protocol. What is it? After a particular disaster, there should be transparency. During disasters, there should be transparency. Means they have to announce immediately without any delay the exact numbers related to fatalities, casualties and injuries. Here they have not done it. The government has not done it. It is reminiscent. Reminiscent, an important word, means what? It reminds us of something. It is reminiscent of the opacity of Chief Minister. Transparency, transparent, what is opposite? Opaque, opacity, means not transparent. It is reminiscent of, means it reminds us of the opacity of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his government after the widespread deaths during the second COVID-19 wave in March 2021, the scale of which was evident later when horrific images of bodies floating in the Ganga emerged. The Ganga. Why should we use the definite article the? Before this goes with the rules related to articles, before any name of any river, we have to use the definite article the. The Ganga, the Godavari, the Kaveri, we have to. The sentence talks about opacity of Yogi Adityanath's government. And to justify that statement, they give the example of what exactly happened at the time of COVID-19. That time also, a lot of people died. His government did not disclose the facts and figures, and later the scale of the deaths, the magnitude of the impact of the COVID-19, people came to know based on the dead bodies floating in the river, the Ganges. Sentence talks about that. Opacity of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his government after the widespread deaths during the second COVID-19 wave in March 2021, the scale of which was evident. Initially, no one knew about the scale because it was they maintained opacity. There was no transparency. Here, scale means the range. Was evident when later, when horrific images, means shocking images of bodies floating in the Ganga emerged. This is the sixth stampede in one of the kumbhs in the past 70 years, an event that takes place every 3 years at one of 4 holy sites for Hindus at Prayagraj, Haridwar, Nasik and Ujjain. This talks about where does it happen, these kumbhs, where do they happen, how often do they happen, what is the frequency, and so far till date the number of stampedes. This is the sixth stampede in one of the kumbhs in the past 70 years, an event that takes place every 3 years. What is the frequency? Every 3 years at one of 4 holy sites. 4 holy sites, one place at a time. SITE site SIGHT site related to vision, and CITE site quote. You have to recollect. At one of four holy sites for Hindus. What are those four? Prayagraj, Haridwar, Nasik, and Ujjain. While the reasons for each stampede have been different, they still point to either a lack of fire safety, crowd mismanagement, and VIPs disruptions, or creaking infrastructure. Whenever we talk about a disaster, we should touch the reasons behind. Coming to stampedes, there are four possible reasons. Looking at the past experience, what are the four reasons? One is lack of fire safety. Second, crowd mismanagement. Third, VIPs disruptions. Disruption means what? Interruption. And the last one, creaking infrastructure. Creak has two different meanings. One, creaking noise means what? When you move furniture, when you're trying to move furniture, then you come across this creaking sound, loud and unacceptable. But creaking also means someone or something that is weak, dilapidated condition, weak condition, not in a good condition, then also we use. Here that is a meaning. Creaking infrastructure means old infrastructure, not strong infrastructure, fragile infrastructure, you can say. These are the reasons behind. They also indicate a post facto treatment of the cause and a disregard for holistic planning. Post facto treatment. After something, treatment of the cause and a disregard for, no respect for holistic planning. The word holistic I use regularly. Holistic means complete, comprehensive, exhaustive. When you see post facto, you have to recollect de facto, de jure, means by legally speaking one, in reality another. The state government has been most innovative. Has been most innovative means what? Present perfect active voice. The state government has been most innovative in managing the 45-day-long Mahakumbh with aerial surveillance and a tracking of mobile movements to monitor people. Now, editorial appreciates managing so many people not that easy. And how have they been managing? The state government has been most innovative in managing the 45-day-long Mahakumbh. How means with aerial surveillance and a tracking of mobile movements to monitor people. It is also an unprecedented achievement to even attempt to handle a population, although transitionary means temporary, that is twice that of Uttar Pradesh between January 13 and February 26 when the Mahakumbh ends. It is not an easy task. This sentence says it is an uphill task. It is not at all an easy task to handle the population that is double the size of the state government's population, that is UP's population, between a particular time period. Between January 13 and February 26, UP government has to handle double the size of its population, state's population. Not at all easy. That is another accomplishment. Trying for that itself is highly laudable, commendable, means what? Highly appreciable, praiseworthy. The Hindu had reported on the arrangements for the 65-kilometer temporary district around the Triveni Sangam, but the confluence itself is only about a kilometer in diameter, requiring constant vigil and steady crowd management. The last sentence talks about the report of the Hindu paper, focusing on two important areas. The Hindu had reported, past perfect tense, on the arrangements for the 65-kilometer temporary district. The temporary district is 65 kilometer, but the actual thing, the main thing, the spot where Triveni Sangamam takes place, that is around the Triveni Sangam, but the confluence means the meeting point, itself is only about a kilometer in diameter. It is only a kilometer in diameter, the confluence area, the Triveni Sangam. But the district, how big is it? It is a 65-kilometer temporary district, a kilometer in diameter. And based on this, what is required? Requiring constant vigil. Vigil means being alert. Constant vigil is required, and steady crowd management. This is also very important. Large events, two things are important. One, constant vigil, being alert, surveillance, being on toes. Be on toes means be alert. And also crowd management, very important. Imagine millions of people, it is not easy to manage. Crowd management becomes a focal point. It ends on that particular note. That's all for today. And lack of time, I could not bring the regular pattern. On and off it happens because of my schedule. I cannot work on the PDF design, and but enrichment will not take a back seat. Same enrichment, you improve your contextual awareness, vocabulary, grammar consolidation. I hope you guys have got enriched. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.